Okay, so today I'll be showing you how to turn your regular drill press into a tire cutting machine, and I'll be going over the parts in a second. This is basically just Sawzall blades on the side, and you adjust the flat plate to adjust how much you're trying to cut into the tire. So let's get to the parts. So here are the two main parts that turn your drill press machine into a tire cutting machine. Now this is an 8mm shaft on a 17mm hex that I got from an Armacor. And you can get those parts by just grabbing one of the hexes and cutting it off. And then you attach one of the hexes to the shaft, and then it'll go into the drill press. And then the second part is the Sawzall unit. And what I did was I super glued carbon sheet to the end of it, drilled 2 holes so that the holes would go right in here so you can adjust it. And then the other thing I did was I bored out the main hole. I put a screw through it, and then I put a nut on the end so that it tightens it. And each individual Sawzall is super glued to the next one on its side. So this is kind of heat proof. I've never had these separate, and super glue seems to do a good job. The drill press I'm using is just like a standard Harbor Freight drill press. This has a slider flat plate, and then I'm not sure what diameters drill units come in, but it's just a regular one. And now I'll show you how to install the two pieces. So this goes on like this, and that should stay. And then I just have a bolt and nut. So this goes on like this. Something like that. And the reason I use really wide washers is that this hole gap is pretty big. You don't have to tighten it too much. There's not much torque involved. Alright, tight is tight. And then once you have this cut, just open up the drill press. And this lays flat in the drill itself. So let's see. There we go. It doesn't have much depth, unfortunately. It's not a long enough shaft to do this with, but I guess you could do it with any type of 8mm shaft and just put a pinhole through it. That's a decent amount of work right there. So you want to tighten this quite a bit, since the shaft doesn't have any flat spots to mechanically lock. It'll definitely spin if you don't have it tight enough. So that's good. Alright, on to the next step of actually using the device. So to demonstrate the usage of this machine, I have 2 tires here that need to be trued to be spares for these, the ones that are on the car. And as you can see, they're quite a bit bigger than the ones that are already cut. So these are pretty good examples to use, and I'll show you how to align it so that you can get a measurement for this, and then you can cut it for this one. So the first thing you want to do is figure out what you just cut with. This is pretty close already, but I'm going to put this on. And a lot of the cutting measurements you can do with just the sound of the blade. So what you want to do is you want to get it so that the drill or the flat piece is touching the rim, basically, right around there. And then you want to get it as close as possible, like that. And then you turn it on, and you want to hear it barely hissing on the tire. So, let's see, that's not close enough. Let's see, so yeah, so that's very good. Alright, so we have our measurement, and I would highly suggest going over the other 3 tires. I mean, I have 4 tires. These were already good, but this is just for the demonstration. I would do this same exact measurement cut on the other tires with the same count of up and downs, just to make sure that they're all perfectly aligned. At this little of a cut, you're really not taking the diameter down that much to make it any different, but I like to make the tires all equal, just so that you don't have any imbalance with the tires on the car. Okay, so we have tire number 1 out of 2. This is the other one that hasn't been cut yet. This hasn't gone through any passes. As you can see, there's like roughly 2 millimeters of depth that we're going to be cutting into, which is somewhat aggressive, but the reason I wanted to put this part in is I would highly suggest using a dust mask like this one, a 3M one, because the particles do get everywhere, and I do get flack for not having any protection under this, but it kind of goes everywhere anyways, and the shop isn't the cleanest of all, so I'll put a cardboard piece in here to catch most of it, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone's using a gas mask or a dust mask when doing this. Okay, so after 5 passes on each tire, the tires should be perfectly the same diameter. Now these tires had the sides rounded a bit, but I prefer not to round the sides of the tire. But if we go for measurements, okay, 0, and around there, so 95.9. 95.8, let's see, 96. So right around 95.9. Yeah, 95.9. Alright, so that is the end of this video. Let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this. I just wanted to show how to cut tires on a regular drill press.